Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Got some really big news in the chip department today, and it affects a lot. It affects Nvidia, Intel, Taiwan Semiconductor, the US, China. Let's talk about what I'm talking about. There was a deal announced early this morning that Nvidia would be investing a $5 billion stake in Intel. Wow, that's a pretty big investment in a competitor. Now, they're not taking over the competitor, they're just investing in it. So the question, of course, is why? Well, Intel has been struggling for a while. A big reason is because of their Foundry unit. Foundry is the arm of Intel that makes chips. Now, last year, Foundry lost $13.4 billion. The year before that, they lost something like $6.5 billion. This year, they're losing billions of dollars on that Foundry unit. As a little bit of reminder, just a couple of months ago, the U.S. government bought a stake in Intel, a pretty big stake. I want to say that was about $5 billion. Oh, it was a 9.9% equity stake in Intel. Plus, they got some warrants. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. I think the warrant part of this was on people's radar, but a lot of people weren't super familiar with the details. The warrants that the U.S. government got give them an extra 5% stake in the company, and they get to buy the stock at $20 if and only if Intel sells enough of their Foundry unit that they don't own 51% anymore. So basically, that's an incentive for Intel to keep their Foundry unit. Why? Well, Trump wants American companies making chips. Okay, so what's this deal with Nvidia then? Well, Nvidia is a fabless company. They are the bee's knees when it comes to chip making, but they don't actually make them. They dream them up and they craft them and they design them, and then they send them to Taiwan Semiconductor or to South Korea where the chips are made, and then Nvidia sells the chips. But if Nvidia has access to Foundry, they might be able to make some chips here in the US. Now, there's still even more to this story. So you would think that Taiwan Semiconductor would be the big loser here, but no, they're up. Let's take a look at their stock here. Their stock, it opened lower, but the CEO of Nvidia said that they still plan to have Taiwan Semiconductor make most of their chips. Now, I don't know if there was much more than that little soundbite or exactly what details were. What it says here in this article is that he indicated the company would continue using Taiwan Semiconductor as its primary chip foundry rather than Intel. So I don't know, maybe, I don't know what. We'll have to see how that actually plays out. Every once in a while, people tell little fibs, and so maybe that could be what's going on. But Nvidia kind of had its own problems here today, too. And let's look at its stock. It's up on the day. It gapped up and then continued higher throughout the day, busting back above the 50-day and 21-day moving averages. There was also news that came out of China yesterday, and this is confirmed in several sources, including the Financial Times, I believe Reuters, and a couple others, that China instructed ByteDance and some of its other major companies not to buy the crippled chips. That is the word that apparently was tossed around, that the U.S. government allows Nvidia to make and sell to China. So there's a great deal less demand for Nvidia chips, because if all that's true and all that's stuck with, then there would be zero demand coming from China. Well, there could be some demand, but not the chips in question, the ones that the Trump administration asked Nvidia to strip out some components of them. So, holy cow, there's a lot at play right here. And this is some opportunity to take advantage of some of this situation. The biggest winner here today, of course, Intel up 23%, just about 16 minutes before the close here. I hope that helps. This is Dan Passarelli, Trade Smart.